G'day everybody, it's me again. I thought I'd do a little piece on the control panel. Well, not the control panel, but the control electronics from the giant sanding machine. It runs on 220 volts, 3-phase, not the 440. There is a giant step-down transformer. But I thought I'd just show you guys some of the contactors, some of the timers, and the fuse systems in here. It's very interesting. This main breaker here, or is it not a breaker, it's just a switch? Maybe it's just a switch. No, I think it's a breaker as well. That one there is 160 amp. It says max fuse rating 200 amps, so I'd say it's not a breaker, it's just a big contactor. But these are interesting. I like the way these work. You've got the little fuse in like a little ceramic holder, like a almost like a light globe. And I do actually think that when they blow, those pop to let you know it's blown. But I'm not going to go and blow one just to test it, because obviously they're very hard to replace. But these are very unique. I've only ever seen these in European machines before, and they appear to connect directly to the bus. Well, the current goes through the, it goes through the whole holder. The actual fuse holder itself carries the current, so it's very interesting the way they work. Very interesting. Now we've got the two current transformers here for the two main motors, and their amp meters are here. And that's for that's for one motor, and that's for the other motor. And of course you've got the two motors which drive the two belts. You've got a flatter belt for finishing, and a coarser rounder belt for your initial sanding. I don't know what you'd call that, but this one does your initial ripping of the main material off, and then this one does your finishing, I believe. I'll have to check on that, but that looks the way it works. There's actually a plate inside there which puts pressure down on the belt, but that's me getting into another part of another video I wanted to do. Basically, yeah. So main power comes in here, which is quite thick wiring, as you can see. Comes to here, junction block, main cables up to the contactor or switch, and then it goes into the three buses for the main fuses, and then that's all connected out through wiring here into all the various components. It does look like somebody's done a bit of a bodge here. There's a, what's that? Some kind of motor, telemechanique, square D, could be a circuit breaker, not sure. Yeah, switch, circuit breaker, motor protector, I think. That's just been sort of bodged up in there. I don't know why, but I won't touch it. The motor contactors and various control bits there. A hell of a lot of wiring in this machine. Hell of a lot of wiring. But like Dan the man was saying the other day, you do not see machines built like this anymore. Every wire is labelled. Every wire is labelled. Everything's all nice, and kind of, they actually took care in making it. These days you don't see this kind of care. It's very, very, well, it's upsetting to me anyway. I expect to see more care taken when things are built these days, but it just doesn't seem to happen unless you do it yourself. And that's the contactor. I wonder if that is a breaker of some kind as well, because it seems to have like a reset position. I'm not sure. Not sure at all. Oh, that can be locked. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. It can be locked in. Yeah, it can be locked in the off position. That's interesting. I suppose that's to, yeah. You lock it off, put the lock on, and then nobody can accidentally turn the machine on. It's probably for a safety thing. Anyway, like I said, I'll try and do a bit more on this one so I get a bit more knowledge about exactly how it all works. I've got a fair idea, but I have to dig out the transformer and wire it all up and just plug it in and see what happens. I doubt I'd have enough power to actually sand anything, but I'll probably be able to get the motors to run at least, which would be interesting to see. Very interesting to see. I wonder if that's some kind of gear system or tensioning. It moves the whole motor up and down. That could be like a variable gearbox. Could be, or a clutch. Don't know. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Not quite sure. There you go, Catalan machine, Italy. Build pad here. It's actually a Stamac. LRTV 1300. Very interesting. I can't imagine what it would cost to have a machine like this built these days, but from what I was told, the machine and the power controller, or the transformer I should say, cost the guy that we got this off about $250,000. And yeah, I could understand it when it was new, but you would have to sand so many tabletops to get this to pay for itself. So many tabletops. These little limit switches, because it's actually a system to position the belts on the rollers to keep them in the center of the cutting surface or the sanding surface, and those rollers there basically actuate, I think, to push they make the actuator move to push the belt back the other way, and then there's another actuator on the other end which does the same, so I think it just pushes it backwards and forwards and keeps it centered, so to speak. Some disc brakes which appear to be manually or otherwise actuated. That's interesting. There's the little tensioning system. Not sure how that works, but it somehow keeps the belts in the center. Really not sure how that works at all at the moment. Yes, it would appear that this motor does... Oh wait, that one's a little bit bigger, direct drive. Wait up. Right. Yeah, so this one spins a little bit faster. I'm going to really have to have a look into this some more and figure it out. If anybody's got any idea, you should tell me. Always willing to listen, always willing to learn something new. Don't know if those belts would move backwards and forwards. No, they'd have to remain somewhat centered on the belt. Yeah, I think you can sand 1300 wide, but overall it's 1400, so... Yeah, it's a limit switch, is it? Yeah, that's a limit switch. Oh yeah, that's for tensioning the belt. And that one there is another one for the roller, but that's air again. I wonder if that helps keep it centered. Interesting. Anyway, what I might do is one of these days I'll actually hook up the 3-phase and power it up, and then we'll have a bit better look. I'm sure I won't damage anything just by powering it up, and also don't go sanding and mucking around. It should be all good. Anyway, I'll do more on this when I have more time, and when I have the time to actually, like I said, to wire it up. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.